Welcome to the Outback Way podcast. I am Helen Lewis. Buckle up as we take you on Australia's longest shortcut, a journey through the heart of Australia. Welcome to our podcast today, and it is a pleasure to have Kate Richards joining me as Adventure Mumma. And many of you may have heard of her. She's a well-known blogger, family traveller, adventurer and explorer. I had the fortunate opportunity to share 10 days with Kate out on the Outback Way last July, as Kate was part of our Media Famil that we did. And we are looking forward to hearing from Kate today about her family's experience on that Media Famil and the experience they had along the Outback Way. So Kate, welcome to the podcast.
Hi Helen, nice to be here.
Terrific. So, Kate, tell everyone how you got into the family travelling and the whole media blogging, and what's the story behind your interest in this area?
Behind Adventure Mumma? Well, we were doing lots of exploring our backyard, and I thought it's probably a good place to start sharing it. So I started sharing it, and tropical North Queensland picked up on the fact that we were getting out quite a lot with our kids and reconnecting and going outside and having fun. And from there, Queensland Tourism also picked up on it, and we got to do some pretty exciting adventures with them and with a lot of the tour operators up around this area. And we actually won a competition, and we travelled down the east coast of Australia, visiting lots of different sites and fundraising for another brand and helping out there. So, and also actually raising money for the National Breast Cancer Foundation. So we've had lots of different experiences just from sharing a few adventures initially from our backyard. So it's kind of gone exponential after that, and we also got to do this experience, which was amazing, to go right across Australia from Cairns all the way over to Perth, which is, I think, pretty much every kid's dream, as well as every parent's dream, although I wasn't sure how it was going to go initially, bringing the kids on such a big journey. Yeah,
it's a long way, 5,400 kilometres, and with the Outback Way making up 2,700 kilometres of that. So it is a long haul, an epic Australian road trip. But that's great. So and I guess, you know, it's amazing how some sharing of experiences can take you so far. That's terrific. So with the Media Famil and your whole family came on the Famil and we were able to experience it. What were the highlights for you along the Outback Way that you found really great attractions, or just any of the highlights you have?
Well, we were surprised that there was so much to do, to be honest. Like, we knew, obviously, Uluru and Kings Canyon would be some of the top of our list. But things like the dinosaurs in Winton, they've got such world-class facilities out there to explore and to look at the dinosaur bones and see the trackways where the dinosaurs left during a stampede. It's quite surprising for a small town like Winton to suddenly come across these world-class places or tourist attractions. Some of the little ones surprised us too, things like the Min Min lights in Boulia. That was just so lovely. It was such a cool little place to go to and to explore the actual facilities that they made to explain how the Min Min lights came about. And there was also over in Laverton the Explorer Hall of Fame. And just little facilities like that, which the tour operators, tour attractions at these small towns were quite surprising for us, that they offered so much fun for the families and for the kids.
Yeah, that's right. That's great.
There were things like the Gentry place that we stopped at, fossicking, and also for the campfire dinner, and that's all about going into the outback and finding places like that where you can have a real outback dinner and sit under the stars and enjoy some camp bush hospitality, which we found really good fun and also very rewarding after such a long stretch we did that day.
That's right, and also that pioneering dinner that they have and the pioneering story is quite inspiring about the early family members of the Chalmers family. I think it's extraordinary.
Yeah, so it was really nice to be introduced into all that and to be part of that family that night and see all the generations helping out and dishing out the food and everything like that. It was quite sweet, and it's quite cool for my kids to see as well. The other thing that surprised me was the experiences we have with the Indigenous community. I wasn't sure how we would get much experience along the Outback Trail, even though you know that they're out there. But we saw a lot of the art. We actually saw some of the art being created back in the homesteads. And we actually went along and saw, we did Ricky's tour, which is the one at the Rainbow Valley, Rainbow Valley, and that was really good for the kids to see and to experience firsthand. Something that they don't get in their backyard, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's
another one which I found was quite impressive was just even the normal service stations. When we turned up at the service stations, there were things like rocket ships and space junk lying around, and you know, you don't expect to see that. Obviously that's an outback quirk, but just something a little bit different to your average journey to come across things like that. And the kids were just overwhelmed, you know, really amazed by that, the fact that they could see space junk lying in the back of a service station.
Yeah, and that's right. And the fact that someone's actually fenced it and made it a thing is just very quirky.
So that's really good. So we found there was lots to do. Everywhere we went, there was, 4 hours down the track, there was another thing that the kids could journey and look at and explore. And so it wasn't 8 hours of just driving in a car and, you know, hoping the kids wouldn't get too bored or anything like that. There was always good stops along the way and good experiences for them to be had.
You make a good point, and so you found that the gaps between stops, or at least pull-ups for fuel or food or even accommodation, they were close enough together for the family. They seemed to be, you know, it was doable without everyone pulling their hair out by the time they got there.
Yeah, definitely.
Did it cabin fever?
Really well. No. I mean, we had some long stretches, but even then when we did the long stretches, we still broke it up in 4-hour lots and still got the kids out and walked them around, and there was still, like you say, there were still things to do that stopped them being so, you know, and being in the car too wasn't as futile as all that, because every time you look out, the landscape it wasn't just desert, it was lots of things going on. There was camels out there was roos, there's emus. There's always stuff to see if they all looked out there. There's no digital Wi-Fi connection while we were driving along, so the kids really had to start thinking about reading books or doing small games in the back of the car, or we had a HEMA Maps guide, which was great for our kid. He toured the rest of the outback on that. So I just found it a really good combination that made it good for us as a family to reconnect, and good for the kids to explore the outback as well, because they saw just the right elements along the way to get a better understanding of what the outback was all about.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of diversity, you know, from the animals, from the dinosaurs, the ancients, to the pastoralists, to the indigenous, and to innovation and technology, and there is that really great sort of cross-section of everything, isn't there, when you travel through the entire route. So, yeah, it's good. Oh, that's a great observation. Yeah, that's so pleased it all worked so well for you guys. And what sort of, do you have any travel tips, or how would you recommend families get involved with actually doing it? I mean, I know that some people say it's a big effort to actually pack up the car and go, but what do you, I mean, do you think the 3 weeks would be enough to do the Outback Way in, and whether it's a winter holiday or... Definitely,
it could definitely fill some school holidays up. And I mean, you get 2 to 3 weeks of that anyways during the middle of the year. I would definitely not be put off by the fact that, oh my gosh, it's going to be a major 4-wheel drive epic adventure. It's not like that at all. The roads are really, really well put together. So it's not like you have to feel that you have to go with a great big troop of other people or anything like that. It's something that a family could do, you know, by itself, and and not have major outback experience and still be able to do it comfortably within that timeline.
There's really no serious four-wheel driving. I mean, we didn't put our vehicles into four-wheel drive at all. And,
no, not at all.
And I think it is, but a clearance is helpful because there is some ruts in the road sometimes and a bit of bull dust, but and I think knowing how to change your tyre and a few basics like that is helpful. But I think in general, we all experienced a pretty safe and a trip without too much anxiety for vehicles or anything like that.
Sure.
It's pretty smooth sailing.
And a lot of that might put families off, going out of their safety zone. But I didn't feel it was out of our safety zone at all during that whole trip, and I don't. Yeah. We haven't done any major outback trips. Most of our stuff is, within the realm of urban areas and places like that. So for us, that was our big epic drive, and yet it was quite doable and quite fun for everybody.
Yeah, that's excellent. Oh, that's great. Oh, well, thank you, and thank you for giving us your insights and a bit of a touch of your experience along the Outback Way as a family. I think that's really helpful for listeners and for people thinking about doing the epic Australian road trip, the Outback Way, or Australia's longest shortcut. So how can people connect with you in the future? So if they want to connect with your blogs or your activity online, how can people connect with you, Kate?
Yeah, just even if you Google Adventure Mumma with MUMMA, it comes up with all our social media places that you can follow us on, Facebook or Instagram.
Terrific.
And the website, of course. And the website, if you just put in the search for Outback Way, you'll see our photo blog that we did along the journey. We did another talk about our each leg of the journey and what to expect and stuff like that. So there's a lot of information on the website to look at if you're thinking about doing the Outback Way. And you can also see the photos, and the photos make you realise that it was such a good time, it was such good fun for the kids and for us that you really don't want to miss out on this one. This is a once-in-a-lifetime trip, and it's definitely, the kids always discuss it or talk about it whenever the holidays come up and we're discussing what the next adventure would be. This one has definitely been right up there.
That's fantastic. Oh, great. Excellent. Well, that's wonderful. Thank you for your time, and thanks for being part of it. And we'll be, Outback Way will have a stand at the upcoming Cairns Caravan and Camping Show at site P189. And please go by and talk to Jack Earbeck, who's our buddy who's going to be manning our stand up there. And he'll be able to tell you all about it and for the listeners out there. And we can... and I look forward to you booking and making some trips on the Outback Way. So thanks, Kate, very much, and we'll leave it there. And good luck with all your other adventures and all your blogging. And it's just terrific, actually, having someone talking about family trips because there's I think a growing need for families to reconnect and get off that Wi-Fi. And have some fun together.
Absolutely.
Again, it's really good. There's
exactly
so much to
right.
see, and we're a great country to do that.
Thank you, Helen. That was good to talk.
Thanks, Kate. Cheers. Bye-bye. The Outback Way Events Calendar. In May, in Alice Springs, there's a wonderful Wide Open Spaces Festival from the 4th to the 6th of May, and you can go to wideopenspace.net.au for more information. The Bulla Rodeo is from the 5th to the 7th of May 2018. Give 0746463386 a call. And in Winton, if you've booked ahead, there's Digger Dinosaur Experience in the 4th week of May to the middle of June. You need to book. Give Judy Elliott a ring on 46572612. And going ahead into June, the Dino Dig is continuing into June. Then there's also the classic TAPS Think Desert Race through the middle of the desert at Alice Springs from the 8th to the 11th of June. And give 0889530295 a call or go to thinkdesertrace.com.au. Then, of course, there's the Winton Vision Splendid Outback Film Festival. This is a fantastic event showcasing wonderful film productions by students and filmmakers all over Australia and internationally. The theme this year is Wide Open Road, which is very appropriate for the Outback Way, and we are very proud sponsors of this event. So it's on from the 29th of June to the 7th of July 2018. You can give 0746571466 a call or simply Google visionsplendidfilmfest.com. It's also a great opportunity to see the brand new Wolfing Matilda Centre in Winton. Alice Springs has a Beanie Festival, a really quirky event from the 29th of June to the 2nd of July, and really recommend you having a look at that if you're heading that way. So just go to beaniefest.org. Thank you for tuning into the Outback Way podcast. Our notes and links will be on our website, outbackway.org.au. You can subscribe to our newsletter, buy our guidebook and download the app if you haven't already. Please join us on Facebook, Outback Way, Australia's longest shortcut, and on Twitter at OutbackWay1. The Outback Way podcast is all about your trip. We're really trying to make it easier for you and give you valuable information to make it more enjoyable. So we'd love your feedback. Send your questions, comments and travel stories to info@outbackway.org.au, and if you share your story, we may even feature you on this podcast. Thank you for joining us through the heart of Australia on Australia's longest shortcut. Cheers for now.